Well, hey, I'm joining you today from the Samuel Stanley seat of my house. We're in First John chapter 4, and man, it was a fantastic chapter. A chapter that can take up multiple pages in your journal, a chapter that we could read and reread over and over again, a chapter I sat and go, man, I could build so many messages just off of this chapter. But I think the fundamental question or thought that John, is asking here is, who is Jesus to you? Like, who really is Jesus? Because he says that if we understand Jesus and know him, then we can test the spirits of the world and know which ones are true. He says that if we know who Jesus is, then we can be born again, that we are known and loved by God. And if we truly understand who Jesus is, if we confess him, then God does abide in us. I loved verses 9 through 11, where John just really says in a fresh way the gospel again. In this, the love of God was manifest among us, that God sent his only Son into the world so that we might live through him. It continues in verse 10, in this is love, not that we have loved God, but that he loved us, and he sent his Son as a propitiation for our sins. And then he gives us a challenge, beloved, if God so loved us, then we must also love one another. I love John's fresh way of sharing the gospel, that Jesus was made manifest, was dwelling with us, living among us, living for us, and then dying to save us. And the revelation of that and the truth of that is so good that now it propels me to then live out that love. Both a love for God as I follow and I serve him, but then also a love for others, for my neighbor, for my brother. To love comes out of the love that I have received. He'll end the chapter by saying we love because we've been first loved. He'll say that it makes no sense to say that we love God but to hate a brother, because those things are incompatible. That if we love God, then we must love our brothers. So I want to end you today with this. How has the love of God transformed your life? How have you experienced it and felt it? How is it real to you? Because here's my fear. If we just try to love out of just a desire to love, then we don't really understand love. We love out of being loved, because we've experienced it, because we've tasted it. So I want you to dwell today on how God has loved you in real, tangible ways. And let that be fuel for you to love others.